Jim, before we wrap things up, a few rapid-fire Gordon Solie trivia questions for you.
Very good.
What wrestler with the same surname as a former world heavyweight boxing champion is called Thunderbolt?
Patterson, Floyd, and Claude.
Name the show once hosted by Roddy Piper.
Well, Piper's Pit. Does that qualify as a...
That is an answer. That is
show?
Correct.
Interview segment.
A beneficial trait of wrestlers is pugnacity.
What, true or false?
True or false?
That is true. If you're very pugnacious, you don't like to back down or give up.
Which wrestler reportedly drank 126 bottles of beer in a 4-hour period?
Andre the Giant or Tommy Rich.
That is correct and correct. True or false? Pac Song's given name is Lie Through Brute.
That is false.
That is indeed false.
That is false.
Who defeated Buddy Rogers to win the NWA World Heavyweight title on January 24th, 1963?
In Toronto, Luthez.
Did Luthez, I guess Hornbaker talked about it, did Luthez really say we could do this the easy way or the hard way? What do you think?
Well, now that there's speculation, did he or didn't he? But I'm pretty sure that's something Lou would have said, and he's stealing it from his mentor and idol strangler, Lewis. So if he didn't say it that night, he said it a time or two.
Name the former Tonight Show host who early in his career did some wrestling announcing.
Steve Allen.
That is correct. Who did he do announcing for?
It wasn't a particular territory because
it would have been
was
a town, yeah.
It would have. He was in. God damn it! Where did he start? Was it Pennsylvania, Ohio, where Steve Allen started in television? I can't remember now.
I got to see what we can find out about that.
Yeah.
Who won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship in 1914?
What? Nobody.
Charlie Cutler.
No, wait a minute. Okay, all right. Well, I was thinking of Gotch's retirement as 1915, but he died in 1915. He retired in 1913. Cutler was the next champion, right? But it was not called the NWA title at the time, but the NWA later on claimed their lineage back to that point.
Jim, name the hold where the victim's head is pile-drived into the canvas.
That would be the pile driver, Gordon.
That is correct. Which former University of Tennessee football star, now a wrestler, has set 19 world weightlifting records?
Doug Furness.
That is correct. Superstar Billy Graham is the son of the late wrestling legend Eddie Graham. True or false?
False.
Who played the part of Mike Bullard in the 1974 movie The Wrestler?
Vern Gagne.
That is correct. True or false, no masked wrestler has ever won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship.
That is false.
It says true, but that's a trick question because winning the title and having the association honor the victory because you won't unmask, two different things.
Yes, and that was, they did it with the Midnight Rider, Dusty in Florida, right? He won the match, but to be NWA World Champion, you could not be a masked wrestler. The NWA had to know your name. He wouldn't unmask because then he would be banished from the state of Florida because of the previous agreement with the heel that fucked him around. So he, in a masterful genius stroke of getting yourself over, he decided, well, no, it's more important to me to stay here in Florida and get even for my people. So I'll give this belt back.
What was the most popular mode of travel from city to city for wrestlers in the 1930s?
Car or train?
It says here train.
True. There weren't a lot of planes.
True or false? The right of a wrestler to don a mask forfeits his right to have his weight revealed.
That's complete gibberish.
That's false. Which famous general reportedly stated to Robert E. Lee, "Pay no attention to things, Bob. Me and some of the boys were having a wrestling match here last night"?
That was Ulysses S. Grant.
That's right. How did you know that?
Because who was the fucking babyface to fucking Lee's heel? Grant.
I didn't realize they were talking about wrestling there. Well, which U.S. president had a cauliflower ear?
Well, I mean, in the Civil War.
That's right. Which U.S. president had a cauliflower ear from his days as a wrestler?
Oh, God damn it. Was that? Shit.
I don't think too hard because I don't know if this is accurate. It says Abraham Lincoln.
Well, okay, no, I was thinking that, well, it may have been from boxing, but I was thinking one of the late 1800s, early 1900s presidents may have fit that category, but possibly not. But I don't think Abraham Lincoln had a cauliflower ear.
Which wrestler held the NWA World Heavyweight title a total of 5 times in his career?
Well, now this game was done in 1987. So at that point, it was Harley Race, and that was the record.
It says here Edge Strangler Lewis.
Wait a minute.
I don't understand.
Oh, wait. Lewis did hold it 5, and Harley won it 6, and that was the record, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess that's how you differentiate the two.
Yeah.
There. Yeah.
That's what it was. So at that point, both Lewis and Harley had it 5 times, and Harley then got it the 6th, and that was before. But wait, how many times Thez have it? If we're going,
he
all
had
the
it
way
6
back,
times, didn't he?
Yeah. So, and then Harley got it to 7th. So what the fuck?
Jim, which ancient...
So actually, but see, it's a 35-year-old game, so we're trying to remember the time that it was written. But yes, Lewis had it 5. Thez had it 6, Harley had it 7. And Flair was not remotely close to that at that point of time in the mid-'80s.
Which ancient Egyptian pharaoh was reportedly an avid wrestling fan?
That would have been King Toot-Off the Dresser.
It's King Tut, in fact.
Toot-Off the Dresser, Toot-Off the Mirror, Key Bump, whatever.
In what year did Lou Thesz win his first NWA World Heavyweight title?
1937 by the standards of the lineage.
Which wrestler has played the part of Bigfoot on at least one occasion on TV?
Andre.
Was that a big deal when you were...
That was a huge deal. Oh, boy. Are you kidding? I was there in front of the because I always watch $6 Million Man every week anyway, but when the publicity came out that Andre the Giant would be playing Bigfoot and in TV Guide and everything, I was sitting there 30 minutes early. And boy, you got goosebumps when you saw Andre the Giant under that Bigfoot outfit. That was a big deal.
I just saw there's an action figure of that. I got to get it for my Andre the Giant collection.
And I mean, every wrestling fan in the country watched that show that night.
Jim, true or false, before the advent of the ring bell, timekeepers cracked a bullwhip to denote the end of the match.
No, actually, they cracked a chicken egg.
That is indeed false.
False, yes.
Blank Paul Ellering.
Fuck Paul Ellering. No. Precious Paul Ellering.
That's right. Who is the senior editor of the renowned Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazine?
Wonderful Willie Abner, baby.
That is right. Skip Young is better known by what nickname whose initials spell SBS?
Sweet Brown Sugar.
That's right. It was weird with Memphis. You had your own Sweet Brown Sugar. You had your own Staggerly. I mean, they were both the same guy. Was it that word of those gimmicks had somehow spread to Memphis, or was it
Yes, because remember, Lawler was making shots in Florida in 81 and 82. That's what he was working a program with Funk in Memphis, but down in Florida, he went down and made some shots there. They had some talent trading going on back and forth. And when Lawler saw that, he's like, okay, Coco can be our Sweet Brown Sugar. And the Stagger Lee thing got over like $1 million. Okay, Coco can be Stagger Lee. It just... because nobody in the Memphis territory knew any of that was going on. And then also over in the Carolinas about that time, Rocky Johnson was Sweet Ebony Diamond. And even he was a big star in the business, but he had never worked the Carolinas. So they made him kind of like the Sweet Brown Sugar, fucking takeoff for that territory. But the people didn't get the other territories' TVs, so they didn't have any frame of reference like, oh, they stole this. It was new to them.
What aptly named wrestler admits to having served time in prison?
The Convict.
That is correct.
Plowboy Frazier in Los Angeles in the world's ugliest striped outfit, 67, 68.
What is the weight limit for an NWA junior heavyweight wrestler?
220 pounds.
This says 230.
You know what? It was at one point. And actually, did they change it after Hodge? Did they change it from 220 to 230 because they were having trouble getting anybody? And it still ended up with Denny Brown.
The junior heavyweight with a beer gut.
Yeah. But he was only 5'7", so, but they couldn't find anybody under 220 pounds.
I guess the question coming out of that is, if Pee Wee Anderson drove Dusty Rhodes around, do you think they would have put the belt on him?
No, and I have a feeling Pee Wee wouldn't have wanted it either. I think he just wanted the referee and the beer money.
What must the disadvantaged wrestler do prior to being allowed to participate in an NWA handicap match?
Nothing. Because it's a handicap match doesn't involve anyone being really handicapped.
They have to sign a waiver of indemnity.
Okay.
And let's get one final question here. Jim, who held the NWA World Heavyweight title in 1942, 1943, and 1947?
Bill Longson.
That is right, Wild Bill Longson. And in this case, they can call it the NWA because it was the National Wrestling Association.
Association, right before the Alliance, yes.
And there it is, Gordon Solie trivia.